Hello world, we are the Brother Floggers! We're here to help you know if a movie is groovy for you. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this review, and stay tuned and keep watching for our other reviews. And at the end of this review, we'll let you know our rating and if this movie is filter appropriate as well, because this is a Vidangel special. So we also invited Robert De Niro to come and hang out with us today, but we actually uninvited him and kind of changed our minds because we're afraid he's going to curb stomp our faces.
He's been in one too many gangster movies.
A lot of gangster movies.
He really knows what he's doing as a 77-year-old man.
Yeah. Or even as a 77-year-old man, I mean, he definitely stomps a few fingers and breaks a few noses and blows off a few heads. So.
Yeah, and faces.
Yeah. Well, the head's part of the face.
That's true.
Or
I guess they're connected.
Yeah, so this was a long, interesting movie. So the synopsis is it's an old guy, Robert De Niro, recollecting on his job painting houses for the mob, and he's basically painting them with blood. So
he's a hitman.
Yeah, he's a hitman for the mobsters, but he's a painter.
Man, I went into this not knowing that this was a 3.5-hour movie, and
yeah,
so I watched this in one setting, and you need to watch this as if it was a movie series. Like, I think the best way to watch it would be break it up an hour a day and watch this versus
for the whole week.
Yeah, because there's so much dialogue in this movie that if you just sit down and watch it, there's not a lot of action. There's a few short spurts of action, but it's just a lot of dialogue. And so to watch it in one setting is really tough.
Yeah.
It's long.
And I watched it over 2 nights, about half one night, half the other, and that was a pretty good breakup.
It's a great gangster film. I mean, it's totally like exposing the
you
mob and what they do, and you know, it's Robert De Niro with Al Pacino. They've done mob movies together, and
they're probably real
awesome.
Mobsters together.
They probably
life,
are.
Yeah. This is just a documentary of their life.
They're actually just showing what they've done throughout their life. That's why they do so many mob movies. Like, hey guys, let's record what we're doing this week and make it a movie.
Yeah, remember that one time? Yeah, let's make a movie about
it. Let's make a movie.
Yeah.
Remember that guy we killed?
And in this one, they do actually de-age them, or whatever the term is for that.
Yeah.
Where they use CGI to make them look younger.
Which is actually one of my favorite parts about this movie is they made them young and made them really old. And it was really
they didn't
cool.
make them old. They were just old.
That's true.
They just made them look young.
Although they made them a little older than they normally are. But
true.
Joe Pesci.
Pesky Joe.
Pesky Joe. Joe Pesci's in this, and he does a great job. I almost liked him the most when he was a little old man.
He's like kind of a cute old man, isn't he?
And he was pretty great. So they got all these classic actors for this great mob movie, which so many of them done mob movies before, and it's really well performed. It's really awesome.
Yeah, they're authentic Italian mobsters or whatever.
Something like that. They got totally snubbed at the Oscars. That was like a big thing because they got over 10 nominations for this, but they totally got snubbed.
Didn't bring anything home. Yeah, it is kind of a down movie, I guess. Like, I mean, you're following the life of crime, so it's dark. And there's a lot of killing. It's primitive, but I like killing.
Yeah, and it's dark, and it's also very, very scary almost that these kind of things really happen and go on because it's based off of real stories,
it's surrounding real events, real people. Yeah,
and so it's kind of scary to think that this kind of mob stuff actually happens. It's kind of frightening a little bit. They're bad people. They're really bad. And the only good person in this film is his daughter, and she has 4 lines in the movie, and she hates him.
Yeah, because she quits talking to him.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Yeah, it's weird. After she watches him beat up the guy who accidentally bumped her.
Curb stomp.
Face, hand.
Scorsese, there's the director, does a great job in just unfolding the story and just really.
And interconnecting everything and weaving the story. He's so good at that. He's such a good director that way.
Yeah.
And so this story really just is so well directed. The filming is just beautiful, and how they did the different time zones, like they did from
there's like the East Coast and the West Coast.
Yeah. Las Vegas time periods. Time. But it's just really how they take them from younger, and so you do have to. It jumps around a little bit. So
it does, because it's him recollecting, right? So you start in old, goes back to young, back and forth. And you just count the number of liver spots to tell him which decade.
Oh, there's 6 of them. Oh, yeah. Liver spots. Really well done film, but it is rated R, and so there's a ton of language.
That's the main filter, actually. There's like 165 F words. So
it's a lot. But as we were watching it, I didn't feel like most of them, because they have these kind of gangster way of talking.
You can't really understand it anyway.
You couldn't understand it, but when they bleep out all the words in the Vidangel filters, you can't really tell what they're saying most of the time, except for they have a couple rants, and there's
where it's like,
and you can kind of you can tell that what they're saying in those a little more so.
Sometimes,
yeah, but not. It's really surprisingly well done as far as that, and I blocked out all the real graphic violence scenes, and they just skip over it. You don't miss anything, and it's very well filtered.
With maybe like one exception, it's usually pretty obvious who just got shot in the head.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to see it.
You know. He runs up to him with a gun and now he's running away.
Wait, what happened? Why is his head gone?
There's no reason to really see the graphic violence in this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away from the authentic feel of the mobsters. You still think they're bad scum.
Yeah.
And even with the filters, there is a little bit of painting the house, if you will, in a couple of the scenes. You can't get away from it totally. Yeah. So it is a little bit violent, but it's very well filtered.
Spray painter.
Yeah. Very much a spray painter.
And it's always the same color. I don't know. For the movie, I'd probably only give it a 1 thumb. Like, it was an interesting movie, but because it is kind of dark,
Trust me, I know.
I think for the genre, I think I'd give it more if I like these kind of movies, but I'm not really a mobster kind of movie. There's very few mobster films that I've actually enjoyed. And so this one was brilliantly done. I mean, it's very well directed.
The quality is there. It's just...
I think if you like mobster movies, this is like a 1.5. But for me, I'm not a mobster movie kind of person. I would give it 1 thumb. Because of the genius of how they tied everything together and the phenomenal acting, I'll give it 1 thumbs up. But with the language and the violence, everything like that had to be filtered out, I'm sticking with 1 on this one. And I think if you watch it filtered, I still think because of the adult content, I wouldn't do less than 18 plus.
Yeah, it's pretty adult themes, like pretty serious, like corruption and murder and
all kinds
of murder. And
all kinds of any corruption you could think of, it's in this movie.
Yeah. Thanks for watching our video review today. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you feel a little bit more Irish on the inside, because this is the Irishman.
Irish.
Arg. Or no, I don't know.
Arg. Arg.
Except he speaks more Italian than Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe and share it with all of your wonderful mobster-loving friends, if you know any. And let us know in the comments if you think Robert De Niro is the most intimidating mobster alive, even though he's probably almost dead. Or if you think the unions are still controlled by the mobsters. Spoiler, they probably are. But yeah, we'll see you guys at the next movie.